One skipper charge.
Blackpot.
Welcome. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushonumu. This is where we speak truth to power unapologetically. Right about now, let me tell you the good news. If you are in Australia, Canada, Italy, England, wherever you find yourself and you need to send money to your loved ones, the best way and the most affordable and convenient way to send money is through tap, send. Tap, send. Tap, send. Yes, tap, send is very, very reliable and very, very affordable. No matter the amount of money you need to send and no matter where in the world that you find yourself, the best way is tap, send. With the promo code Black Rasta, BLAKKRASTA. Black Rasta is the promo code. You can send money conveniently and in an affordable way. So send it right. Send it through tap, send. Welcome to today's edition of the Black Pot. And we have our strong 3 issues that we are going to delve into. And our first issue is ACCRA demolition exercise. ACCRA demolition exercise. Let's go into the story. This is from Ghana Web, and it reads, watch as Greater Accra Rexec demolishes illegal structures at Sakumono, Ramsar site. The Greater Accra Regional Security Council, RECSEC, has launched a demolition exercise targeting illegal structures in the Tema metropolis, Sakumono, Klagon, and surrounding areas. The operation, which began on Tuesday, May 27, 2025, is part of the broader government initiative to reclaim encroached lands and mitigate the impact of perennial flooding across the capital. The exercise is expected to extend to other flood-prone zones, including the Madina, Lankwantanang, and Adentan municipalities, addressing newly appointed Metropolitan Municipal and District Chief Executives (MMDCs) at a regional meeting held on Monday, May 26, 2025. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Okulu, emphasized that illegal developments have significantly contributed to the region's persistent flooding. The enforcement follows a recent inspection tour by President John Dramani Mahama, who visited several Ramsar sites and flood-prone areas in Accra. During the tour, President John Dramani Mahama reaffirmed his administration's commitment to addressing encroachments on protected lands and waterways as a critical step towards safeguarding the environment and ensuring public safety. All right, so we are all aware of how it easily, the city of Accra easily gets flooded anytime it rains. And this is something that is reoccurring. Every year it happens. But the same mistakes that we made that brought about the flooding, we continue to make them irrespective of the kind of devastation that we witness whenever the floods occur. And it's a good thing that demolition exercise is ongoing. And I always say that I have a very good heart, a very soft heart. I am someone who empathizes and sympathizes. I want people to flourish, but I don't sympathize or empathize with the one who builds on waterways, the one who builds at a place that he or she is not supposed to put up a building and gets his or her building demolished. That one, I don't feel pity. I don't know. It's not that I'm not, I'm a wicked person or I'm a cruel person, but just that I feel like you shouldn't have gone there in the first place. You understand? So I support any legal demolition exercise, irrespective of who is affected. As far as the person has built on the wrong land and it's being demolished, I see it to be fair. And I even want the cost of demolition. Listen, I want the cost of demolition, the demolition exercise, to be paid by the one whose property is being demolished. Because it takes money to demolish a building. Therefore, the cost of the demolition must be, the responsibility of the one who was irresponsible to build on a waterway or a Ramsar site. We are here in Ghana, and a whole government official and a legal practitioner, a senior lawyer, a senior politician in the person of my own John Owusu Afriye, Sir John of blessed memory. The person who was supposed to safeguard our forest, our land, decided to acquire land on a Ramsar site, knowing very well the purpose of a Ramsar site. If you don't know, let me let you understand and appreciate the essence and the importance of a Ramsar site. The Ramsar site is where the running water, when it rains, okay, the running water will move and settle there and will take time and just go deep, sink into the belly of the earth so that there will be no flooding. But this is where people have decided to build their dream house, their mansions, their real estate. And people who have been put in charge of ensuring that we do the right things when it comes to putting up buildings, the assemblies, the building inspectors, the district assembly, the engineers there, they sat aloof, unperturbed, and watched people put up buildings there. Remind you that a house is not built in a day. It takes time. The person will come and dig foundation, and you are there, you are watching. The person will come, do the block lay, get to lintel, and you watch the person put up a whole structure on a land that is not supposed to be used for such a building. And you watch. So apart from the demolition, all those who gave permits, if the house owners there indeed have permits to build on those land, those who sold the land to them, and those at the assembly who watched unconcerned, who slept on their job, they must all be punished equally to serve as a deterrent to others. They must be punished. You cannot cause financial loss to this because it takes money to go and demolish a building. Why do you watch the thing as it's being built and you do not stop it at the beginning and you waited for it to get to this point before you move to go and demolish it? And I believe and I hope that there will be no discrimination in the demolition. No discrimination. Don't go to a place and they tell you, oh, you know, I'm a party member. The person will show the card and show contributions to the party. You know, we brought NDC to power, blah, 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 blah. And you decide to leave the NDC man's building. No favor. It must be done well without fear and favor, fair and family. That is how it must be done. You see, it's unfortunate that we are living in a country whereby if you don't build your own house, you will never be considered as someone who is wise or someone who has really, you know, worked hard. So whatever kai jini ba akache ke ba serious person ba. It is not about you building. Nobody is born in America or is growing up in America and is thinking of going to buy a plot of land to put up a building. You don't do that. That you are going to save money, buy a plot and build. No. Because the system is such that there are mortgages and you pay in installment. But in Ghana here, all the programs, all the projects, affordable housing projects, have proven not to be affordable. They say they are building affordable houses. But ask yourself as a teacher, as a nurse, as a taxi driver, as a soldier, as a police officer, will you be able to buy those affordable houses they call? No, they are not affordable. And the rent control system here is bad. It seems there's no law regulating rent. Meanwhile, we have laws that are supposed to regulate rent. So landlords decide on how much they want to rent out their property. Landlords decide on the number of years advance, rent advance they want to take. And the unfortunate thing is that you rent the room for, let's say, 1,000 Ghana cedis. And when the 1 year or the 2 years is due, then the landlord will tell you that if you want to renew the rent, pay 2,000 Ghana cedis, 100% increment. And you plead and plead and plead, and if you are lucky, the landlord will say then pay 1,500, 50% increment. Everybody is just doing anything at all. So because of that, when someone works small, gets some small money, in order to redeem himself from that torture that some of the landlords are subjecting the tenant into, the person will go and buy land. And the person doesn't have money to buy land in a good location, in a good area. So you go to the place and you see that this place is waterlogged. This place, there's a river there. You are not supposed to. They will tell you, oh, my brother, don't worry. Here, all you need is 2 trips. If you get 2 trips, you fill it and you build. So people are just buying the waterlogged areas, buying and filling and putting up buildings. So when it rains, it becomes a problem. And the unfortunate situation is that when they build, they don't even create gutters. They don't give way for the water. When it rains, there's no place. We have concretized all our spaces. There is law in Ghana that when you build, there's a certain percentage that you need to leave bare. You have to leave that place bare, especially for the high-rise buildings. You need a place that is not cemented, that is not tiled, so that when it rains, the water can seep through that side. But here we are. Nobody seems to be obeying the law. And people are building. So for me, it is a good exercise. They should extend it to every part of the city, every part of the country, anywhere that they have put up a structure, whether it's a mosque, whether it's a shrine, whether it's a church, whether it's a school, no matter the nature of the building, as far as it is on a waterway or it is on a Ramsar side, it must be pulled down and possibly make the person who put up the building pay for the cost of demolition. This is what will deter others from buying such plots of land. We cannot continue to live in a country where everybody will just do anything at all and go scot-free. And I'm saying that there mustn't be discrimination in this demolition. No matter who the person is, a soldier, a doctor, a lawyer, a pastor, whoever, pull it down. And let's begin to create way for the water. Because there's no way man can fight water and win. No man can win over water. The rains are about to fall heavily, and we need to protect life. We shouldn't allow the lives and properties of a lot of people to be destroyed because of one irresponsible, 2 or 3 or 10 irresponsible men who have put up buildings on waterways and Ramsar sites. Put them down. It's a good exercise. And I support the regional minister. She should make sure that she sees it to the latter. She has our support. So let us know what you also think about the demolition. If you know a place that there must be demolition, just put it in the comment box section. Put it there. And the authorities, the powers that be, they will get to know. And the right thing must be done. Sometimes you see the thing being done and you go and report, you confront the person. Please, this place is a waterway. Don't build. The way the person will deal with you and even harass you with land guards and police. You see, one thing about housing is that the moment you solve housing problem as a country, you solve security issue. People can just go up and rent. There are some landlords, they don't even know the names of their tenants. Oh, brand new taxi, no. Oh, the nurse. Oh, the teacher. Oh. See, when we do the proper thing, I've promised you, we will do a whole show on rent and housing and how it promotes safety, security, and economic development. So we'll put it down here and we'll move on to our next story. But before then, we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be more fire. This is the Black Pot, aka Cuckoo Show.
Black Pot, Cuckoo Show.
Yes, that is our profound quote of the day from the boxing legend. He says he knows where he's going and he doesn't have to be what people want him to be. I always say this, that don't let anybody define you. If you allow someone to define you, that person will confine you. Definitions, okay, just bring about confinement. Anything you can define, you confine. That is why up to now, God has not allowed himself to be defined by anybody. That is why people see God to be this, people see God to be that. So they are different, okay? That's why there are varied opinions of who God is. God unlimited, God undefined. So don't let people define you. If you allow someone to define you, the person will confine you. So this is a word to the wise. It is on the Black Pot, aka Cuckoo Show. Remember, if you want to send money, send it through tap send with the promo code Black Rasta, BLAKKRASTA, Black Rasta. Let's move to our second story. But don't forget, put your comments in the comment section. Let's read them. Let's get interactive. Make sure you share this broadcast to as many groups, as many people as you can. Let's get talking and get Ghana working. Missing ECG containers found at last. Were they even missing? Let's go into the story. Missing ECG containers, 2,637. Twice the number of containers presumed to have gone missing retrieved. This is graphic online. The Ministry of Energy has retrieved 2,637 containers belonging to the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG. Twice the number of containers presumed to have gone missing with their contents. In an exclusive interview with the Daily Graphics Timothy Goba in Accra on Monday, May 26, the spokesperson for the ministry, Richmond Roxon, said the committee investigating the 1,300 containers said to be unaccounted for rather discovered 2,637 containers at the port of Tema, consigned to the ECG, a number far above the initial missing items. He said, as of April 30, 2025, ECG had 2,583 outstanding containers at various locations. Mr. Roxon said 860 of the containers were found at Meridian Port Services, 1,237 at GPHA terminals, while 272 were evacuated by national security personnel. He added that 194 were allocated at Amiris terminal, while 20 were retrieved at Atlas manufacturing terminal. Okay, so the background is there. In March this year, during an official interaction between the Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullah Jinapo, and the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, the power distributor claimed to have 2,491 unclad containers filled with cables and other essential equipment at the Tema port. The minister subsequently set up a committee chaired by Professor Innocent Senyo ACCRA to investigate the claims. The committee found out that while ECG claimed to have 2,491 unclad containers filled with cables and other essential equipment, an independent audit at the port found only 1,134 containers, leaving 1,357 missing. Mr. Jinapo expressed concern about the situation and assured the public that it will be investigated. The over 1,300 containers cannot vanish into thin air. We will ensure those responsible are held accountable, he stated. Thereafter, the minister set up a committee made up of the National Security, Ministry of Transport, GAPOHA, and Customs to investigate the ECG's containers that could not be accounted for. Clearance window. Roxon said further analysis showed that 2,437 containers surpassed the 60-day clearance window and were classified as uncleared cargo list, with 41 verified lists cleared from the port, leaving 2,583 containers. All right, so we were there. And then the minister came and told us that about 1,300 containers belonging to ECG and their content could not be traced. And this raised a lot of eyebrow and suspicion. The immediate past managing director of Electricity Company of Ghana, Mr. Mahama, was put under severe scrutiny and he was subjected to all sorts and all forms of attacks and abuses. And the man maintained that he has no hand in the missing containers and even insisted that no, he doesn't think the containers are tiny things that can easily be taken out of the harbor without being noticed. So he doesn't think that they are missing. And here we are today being told that those containers have been found. And even the number they told us that they could not trace, that was 1,300, what they have found is more than the 1,300. So the question is, why the discrepancy in the figures? Is there something more we need to know Why did the minister, Jinapor, come out to tell us when they had not actually gone down into finding out where the containers were? Or is it that the containers were taken out of the harbor and were brought back when they raised the alarm? You see, I believe and support any attempt to bring previous public office holders and even current public office holders to account for their stewardship. But I don't like the situation whereby, when a new government comes into office, it's like you want to find fault with the previous government at all costs. Sometimes it's just about simple communication, questions and answers, and we are good to go. But I don't know. There's always that tendency to be tempted to paint your predecessor as a bad fellow. That it's not a good practice. I won't be happy if a new government comes and decide to, instead of doing in-depth investigation or due diligence, come and level all manner and sort of allegations against the persona of Mr. Jinapor, who is currently the energy minister. I will not be happy. I will not like that. So we should always make sure that we cross the T's and dot the I's before you come out to make such statements and such allegations. Unless the minister is coming to tell us that some people decided to hide the containers so that if he had not come out to tell us that they cannot trace them, blah, 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 they were not going to bring them. They wouldn't have brought them back. Unless that is the case. But for now, from what we have seen in the report, that wasn't the case. Please, the harbor is a national security installation. The levels of security there, if you've been to the harbor, you appreciate it. So it is not easy for a container to get missing. And at the point, we were told that some of the missing items or containers were found in some manufacturing company somewhere around Tema or some place like that. Was that one, or is that one still part of those that have been found? Is it part of it? Is it part of it? I'm asking. Or they did not find anything, at that manufacturing company, but decided to come and tell us a story. We need to be clear on this. And again, ECG and the state institutions, you know your strength, you know your needs. Sometimes it's so disheartening when you go into some of the state agencies or state-owned enterprises and they have procured items that will last like 20 years. You go and check and realize that some of the cables or some of the things they are imported, they have procured. You will not need them now. You will not need them in the next 5 years. You will not need them in the next 10 years, but maybe some 20 years to come. And unfortunately, by the time the 20 years is due or when we have need for them, they will be obsolete. Technology is changing, it's growing, fast growing. So this is not the time to be buying things, to that quantum that you will not need at the moment. At most, you should procure for, let's say, 3 years. Let's say 5 years maximum. I know of some state institutions that procured ties, car ties. And the ties were in their warehouse and they got expired. Car ties. Brand new ties. They procured more than necessary. All these are financial losses to the state. All these are issues that we need to really look at. If it were your own company, we would have done that. We are quick to think that someone has done us wrong. So, Mr. Jinapor, you have found the containers, the contents are intact. What else do you have to tell us? Is there some more info we need to know? Kindly let us know. So it's a good news for all Ghanaians. It's a good news for the former managing director of ECG. So can we say that he has been vindicated? I remember one of his interviews that I watched on one of the TV stations. The way he was pushed to the tight corner and he was being, judged. Okay, he was being found guilty by the court of public opinion and all. I felt for him. So it's good that time has been the best judge of this case. So thank you for finding the missing containers. The committee, let us know the details of your report, and we will let our viewers also know what has transpired so far. So we'll put this one here, and then we'll move on to our next break. But remember, Blackport is heavily supported by Tap Tap Send, the best and the fastest and the finest and the most affordable way to send money from any part of the world. Tap Tap Send with the promo code Black Rasta. Black Empire Media is open for business. So do business with us. Call us on 02444 99461 and let's do business. Let's go for this break. When we come back, more fire.
Blackport. Coco show.
Welcome back. This is the Blackport, aka Kuku Show. This is where we speak truth to power, and we speak it unapologetically. We are on the side of the truth. We are on the side of patriotism. If you are patriotic, you will not sell a Ramza site to a fellow Ghanaian. I saw some of the videos and how the owners of those buildings were wailing. So it shouldn't end there. Whoever sold the land, whoever gave the permit, they should all be brought to book. Let us know your thoughts. Share your comment with us. Put them down. Let us read them and let us jaw, because we don't want us to war. Black Empire Media can be reached on 02444 99461. 02444 99461. If it is a video, a music video you want to shoot, if it is a documentary on your business, anything that has to do with media, production, and event management, you can rely on Black Empire Media, and we will give you the best ever that you can find on the market. This is Black Empire Media, 02444 99461. Let's do business and let's win together. Let's check some of the comments that have come in so far. All right, so we move on to our next. Expansion of free SHS to private schools. Expansion of free SHS to private schools. Free SHS. Free SHS was the flagship program of the outgone MPP government. I remember when Nana Akufo-Addo started talking about free SHS, and in one of the interviews, I think was with the BBC or Al Jazeera, when he was asked how he was going to fund it, he said, oh, when he gets there. And we realized how the funding became a challenge, and the challenges of double track, green and yellow, experience. Sometimes we were also confused as to when our wards were going to school, when we were returning home, and you see students carry their chalkboards. Some of us, when we went to secondary school, the very first day we went to the boarding house with our chalkboards and trunk. We never took them back home until we completed school. But this was not the case for those who were going through the free SHS system. You see them carry trunks and chalkboards every month. You know, it was quite a difficult task for the students and their parents as well. And then, you know, you are there, your child will come home like 3 weeks. We are vacated. How come? But you went to school just 3 weeks ago. Say yes, we are on vacation. And it was a very, very big challenge, and we all talked about it. Now, NDC has won, and they are saying that they want to extend the free SHS to the private schools. Why are they saying so? And who is saying that on behalf of the NDC? Let's go into the story. Yes, so let us know your comment, please. Do you support the idea of extending or expanding free SHS to private schools? Do you support it? Let us know what you think. Government to extend free SHS to private schools to ease double track pressure. Deputy Education Minister is saying this. The Deputy Education Minister, Dr. Clement Apak, announces plan to include private SHS in free SHS policy to reduce congestion in public schools and end double track system. The government of Ghana has announced plans to extend the free SHS policy to include private senior high schools, a move aimed at reducing pressure on public institutions and phasing out the double track system. The announcement was made by the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Apak, during a press briefing in Accra on Tuesday, May 27, 2025. According to him, this decision marks a significant step in the government's broader education reform strategy and aligns with the ruling party's campaign promises. As part of our campaign promise, we have been working diligently to bring on board private senior high schools in the delivery of the free SHS program, Dr. Apak stated. He explained that the policy, which had long been under consideration, is now set for implementation following extensive consultations with private school stakeholders. The goal is to leverage the infrastructure and resources of private schools to absorb more students, thereby reducing congestion in public schools and addressing the operational challenges caused by the double track calendar. Thank you. So, aside the infrastructure deficit, one key challenge that was associated or that is associated with the free SHS policy is the feeding. You realize that about 60% of the cost of free SHS was on feeding. And for me, looking at what is being done elsewhere, the best practices, those of you in Europe, in America, in other parts of the world, you can attest to the fact that college education, high school education, is largely day school system. The few boarding schools, that is the high school, the few high schools in Europe and other parts of the world that are boarding schools, the parents pay, and they pay astronomical fees. It's expensive to put your ward in a boarding school in Europe. What they do is day school. And what they also do is community schooling. So for me, addressing the challenge of education is not just about free SHS and infrastructure and those kind of stuff. If you are living in, let's say, a Nyaso constituency, you should go to school within the constituency. There must be, state of the art, well-resourced, world-class school in the community, so that students will not have to travel far for education. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when Ghana gained independence, was so much interested in the boarding school system because at that time, he was looking for ways and means to promote social integration and cohesion. That is why he wanted people to travel to other regions to school and know the culture and appreciate. It was part of the broader, structure to create national cohesion. But now it's no more like that. We are already there. So we should be the NDC previous 3-day school, that day school system, the community school system is where we should be heading towards. Because we spend so, and they'll tell you that, when they are in day school, they can't learn. Who told you that? It's a lie. It's a big fallacy. But those in the SS, they were in BEC, they were in JSS, right? When were they were in JSS? Were they in the boarding school? No. They were in the day school. They went through the day school system at JSS level, and they were able to pass to go to the secondary school. So why can't they stay in the house and still pass? And we still have secondary school. There are day schools, and the students are passing. So boarding school is not a guarantee that your child or your ward will pass. Parents are beginning to relinquish. We are beginning to run away from our responsibilities. The education of the child is not that of the school alone. The education of the child actually starts from the home. So you can't tell me that the child will not be serious, and it's you, the parent, who is not serious. If you are serious, your word will learn in the house. If you, the parent, you are serious, I don't see why. You see, politics is said that they are always, politicians they are always torn between political will and goodwill. Sometimes the goodwill is there, but the political will to do the right thing is lacking. Me, I am still against the shift school system they abolish. They are not pioneer. Me, I went through that system. I was not a bad student. A lot of us went through that system. We still managed to pass. Now, for example, we are focusing so much on free SHS, on SHS. What about the basic school? If you engage with the GES, the teachers, just 3 days ago or so, last Thursday, I was at the Madina Adenta Abokobi Nat district. They had their congress, the delegate congress. I was there. I interacted with the teachers and realized that they were so much concerned with the basic school because they think that government has been focusing on SHS and little attention is given to the basic school. But it's from the basic, they'll go to the secondary. So what the point is that the fact that the child is going to the double shift, the morning and afternoon shift, does not mean the child will be a bad person or will be truant. Even with the single one, a truant is a truant, a deviant is a deviant. Now the school closes at 2, and from 2, the school closes at 2 p.m. and from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. to the next morning, the classroom is just there. Nothing goes on there. Or maybe they'll give you to a church, and a pastor will come and have a church service there. Meanwhile, when you go to the basic schools, the people, they are packed there. You go to a classroom and you have about 70, 80 pupils to one teacher in a public school classroom. You go to class 6 and you have class 6, so you have about 70 pupils in the class. Is that the kind of schooling we want? No. Is it not better to break the class into two and run a shift system? This one, you are not going to build a new structure. You are not going to build a new structure. It's the same structure. So you are making good use of the structure. That's the point. So when I saw a certain MCE touting that he has been able to eliminate the shift system in his municipality or something, I said, no, this one is this man. Seriously, I didn't see anything wrong with that anapa and a morning and afternoon shift. In fact, it was good. Because my school, for example, okay, if you are in the morning shift, when you close at 12 and you go for break, after the break, you go to workshop. That's the time you go for your PE, the extracurricular activities. While those who are coming for the afternoon, they come and use the class. And they also use the morning to do those craft work and those technical training. You just have to simply plan. And let me tell you, your child can finish SHS, go to the university, get the degree, and after the degree, you know that in Ghana, you have the Association of Unemployed Graduates. Technical skills. So me, my child, though you are going to school, where is your interest? Is it electricals? Is it hairdressing? Is it sewing? You will learn those vocational skills in addition to the school you are going. So if my child, you are in the double track system, I really didn't feel that. So when you come home, that is where you go and spend time at the workshop and learn auto mechanic, learn electronics, learn something, learn a soft skill, learn how to play the piano. So it's about how you use the time, how you utilize the time. Your word can go to school. It's a single track, okay? It's a single track, but your word will still come out and fail. When we had a single track, we had people failing. Parenting and the seriousness of the child. These are very important things when it comes to a successful education. But it's good. That notwithstanding, if they are extending it to the private schools, it's good because as a private school operator myself, I know how badly private schools were affected or have been affected by the free SHS. Because of the free SHS, the private schools, especially the secondary schools, were not getting students. So their facilities are there. So it is a good one. But we want us to look at the better and the best one. So for private schools, yes, this is the good news. It's very welcoming. They have the facilities there. So now government, you are not going to have to put up a new classroom structure, a new school to absorb the number. So let's make sure that those private schools, they have all the requisite, requirements, all the necessary facilities to absorb the students coming from the JHS into their private schools. It's going to help, at least for now. In the interim, it is a good measure, and I will urge the government to ensure it is done. And now that we still have the free SHS in the boarding way, when we were in Opokwa, we were not up to 500. But the last time we went for homecoming, just 2 weeks ago, the students are over 4,000. You understand? So it's difficult for teachers to be able to supervise them. So if they are going to put some in the private schools, fair enough. But let's also look at the feeding problem. Dr. Clementa Park, my own lecturer and my very good friend, you were vociferous. You spoke on the issue of feeding vehemently when you were a ranking member on the education committee. When students went to school and they were fed poorly. I hope that we are not going to experience that under your watch. Honorable Haruna Idris, the Minister for Education, a former student leader, a former NUCS president, you understand student issues and know you can do the job. Let us make the issue of feeding a thing of the past. So let's also team up with Feed Ghana. Let's also team up with the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that the school farms are revamped so that at least the school that doesn't have enough land to grow crops but can rear animals, they should do that to serve as protein. They can do barter exchange. You send protein and then you get cereals, you get rice. So the school farming system should also be reintroduced and resourced. That is the way to go. In as much as you focus on SHS, let us also look at the basic school where you have 60 pupils in one class. It is affecting quality teaching and learning. So it is important we look at that. And the private schools, this policy will only survive on the heels of loyalty, integrity. So you don't put ghost names as students in order to get money. Because we know that Ghana, anytime there is a policy, there is a program, there's a project, people are looking for how they can, stifle, how they can steal from that policy. This shouldn't be the story with the expanded free SHS to the private schools. So, Dr. Park, Honorable Idrisu, Your Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we are strongly behind you. Let us make this work. But let's look at the bigger future. Don't forget about your community day school. That is the proper thing to be done, so that people will not travel far and need to be housed in the boarding facility where you spend much of the money. Parents are to feed their wards. So let them stay in the house and have free education, but not free feeding. That one is too expensive for the state. We are all aware. So that at least everybody will be okay. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. I know you've heard us. And you will not abandon the community day school. That is the future. That is the future. This is the Blackpot, aka Kuku Shunimu. Here we speak truth to power. But we know that again, wisdom is not in the mind of one person. That is why we need to hear from you. So feel free, drop your comments, you read them, and then. Okay, so Dwabill Yezon Bill. Yes, he's highlighting it for us. Thank you. Conscious Agbemenu Ahosu. Good evening, sir. Chuliba, I hope I've got it right. Kochia, More Fire. Zion Genesis, Blazing Fire. Say it loud. It's hot. All right. Thank you so much for your time with us. You might be watching a playback of this broadcast. You can still drop your comments there. Very, very important for the national discourse. We set the tone, we set the agenda for the national discourse. So your comment will be read by the powers that be. That is the most important thing. So don't forget to put your comments there. It's very, very important to us. This is the Blackpot. My name is Lord ASOREBA Thunder. Thanks to the production crew. God willing, tomorrow we're going to be here on your screens again. Remember to like our pages, subscribe, share, and comment. That is how you can make Ghana a better place. Adios. Maunairao.